Доброго дня. Good day, everyone. The Ukrainian Research and Documentation Center, known as the UCRDC, is again honored to be a part of St. Vladimir Institute's celebration of Ukrainian Heritage Day. In 2011, the Legislative Assembly of Ontario proclaimed September 7th as Ukrainian Heritage Day. As of 2011, the UCRDC, along with other organizations, has consistently celebrated September 7th at St. Vladimir Institute. So, вітаю вас. The UCRDC welcomes you to Ukrainian Heritage Day at St. Vlad's. Enjoy. This year, September the 7th, marks the 130th anniversary of the arrival of the first Ukrainian immigrants to Canada. Many immigrants of Ukrainian descent settled in Ontario and began to play a pivotal role in its development. Many Ukrainian Canadians from Ontario rose to positions of prominence. For example, Mr. Justice John Supinka, the Honorable John Yaremko, Edward Burtinsky, and Dr. Peter Smilsky, who chaired the Faculty of Dentistry at the University of Toronto from 1964 to 1976, and was a founding member of the UCRDC. A Canadian War Story, a new documentary film produced by the UCRDC, pays tribute to the more than 40,000 Ukrainian Canadian military personnel who enlisted to fight for Canada in World War II.
In 1939, Canada went to war against Nazi Germany. Ukrainian Canadians, despite being regarded as second-class citizens, enlisted in great numbers to fight for Canada and the British Empire.
We had boys from every province in Canada. We escorted the convoys like a mother hen. We were on the lookout for German submarines.
We would fly at 20,000 feet. The German shells had a 20-second fuse from the time that they were launched. They didn't have to have a direct hit. They would have a killing range of 100 yards.
I was a medical assistant in the RCAF. I used to have nightmares that a dead body was under my bed. After a while, these dreams of dead bodies stopped, and I got used to it all.
The doodlebugs were very frightening. You'd see it flying, and when its red light went off, it went straight down. You had no time to get away.
Of my detachment, only 4 returned. I lost all my closest friends. When I saw them being killed, I wanted to get killed with them too. Such sorrow gripped me.
On May 7th, Germany formally surrendered, and May 8th was declared VE Day, Victory in Europe Day.
How wonderful Mr. Churchill has come out onto the Ministry of Health balcony.
In all our long history, we have never seen a greater day than this.
London just went crazy. It was just unreal. I'll never forget that ever.
There was a stunned silence when we finally realized the fighting was over. Our relief was unbelievable as we acknowledged for the first time that we actually survived the war.
We performed in a fashion that was unquestionable, without any doubt. This finally gave Ukrainian Canadians the prerogative of being recognized as real Canadians.
The UCRDC's extensive oral history collection of audio and video recordings contains over 40 interviews with Ukrainian Canadians who served in the Canadian Armed Forces. These servicemen and women were able to significantly influence Canadian post-war policy on displaced persons and refugees. Dr. Peter Smilsky, who served as part of the Canadian Dental Corps during World War II, was very concerned about the fate of Ukrainian servicemen and civilians who were displaced by the war. Dr. Smilsky took a firm stand against the forced repatriation of political refugees and helped draft a pamphlet which advocated that countries such as Canada accept and resettle displaced persons.
I think the disposition was that there may be something happening, that these are crucial moments. Europe will be rearranged, and hopefully with Ukrainian independence, and you want to be participants in what was going on. And I think there was a feeling of duty, especially when the attitudes of the Anglo-Saxons, in my estimation, was very good. Lord Tweedsmuir making a statement that you are better Canadians if you are good Ukrainians, and that confirms what we were thinking all along, except somebody prominent has to restate our thinking. So there was no conflict of objectives there. We thought we can do both, and certainly the leadership in some organizations, especially in the Ukrainian Samosteyniku, Ukrainian Self-Reliance League, with which I had, which direction I was inclined to believe, that we should participate fully, and as participants in whatever goes on, whether it's politics, the army, or municipal politics, then we're more likely to attain our other objectives.
Dr. Peter Smilsky was one of a group of dedicated individuals who in 1982 formed the Ukrainian Famine Research Committee. Later, this became known as the Ukrainian Canadian Research and Documentation Center. To commemorate the 50th anniversary of the famine genocide in Ukraine, the Holodomor, the committee produced Harvest of Despair, the first documentary film about the Holodomor. In 2022, the UCRDC will be celebrating its 40th anniversary. To further our objective of preserving the past for future generations, the UCRDC will continue to build on our past accomplishments and initiate new projects which showcase people and topics relevant to the Ukrainian Canadian community and beyond. We are sincerely grateful to St. Vladimir Institute for including the UCRDC in their Heritage Day celebration.